G'day everybody. First of all, I wanted to start by saying a huge thank you to all of the patrons and to anybody who's ever donated towards Chuffed, because it's people like you who help keep the dream of sailing and saving animals alive, so thank you. Now, as you all have probably figured out, I am very passionate about animals, helping animals and animal welfare, and it's my dream to not only just help animals, but to help animals that truly need it, and to help animals that without me wouldn't be able to get the veterinary care they need, whether that's wild animals or domestic animals in remote areas where there are no veterinarians or where people just can't afford veterinary care. So that's what really drives me to keep doing this, because I truly believe that every single animal deserves proper veterinary medical care of a high standard, and that's what I'm trying to deliver. And that's why we do things like training with local veterinarians, or try to connect the communities we visit with other veterinarians and organisations that can continue to help them, because we really want to make a lasting change for the animals in the places we visit. So that's really important. So basically, Chuffed is my vehicle which helps me transport this little floating veterinary hospital around the place, and it helps us reach areas that normally people wouldn't necessarily visit and be able to get to. But Chuffed is currently in a state that she's not really safe. The hull really needs to be addressed. It needs to be hauled out, inspected. There's a few areas that might need spot welding, and it needs to be painted properly. And as you all saw, the sails and the running rigging and a lot of other things aren't in great condition. So that is why we are doing this fundraiser, because without your help, the dream of sailing and saving animals just can't go together, because I can't afford it. So as you probably realized when I talked to you guys all about budget a few weeks ago, the costs of helping the animals can range from $200 to $800 in a month. And then when you combine that with the costs of maintaining a boat, it's really was just not sustainable with the patron income we were getting. And because I dipped so far into my own personal savings, it basically means I don't now have enough to put forward the money to get Chuffed back in the water and safe. So yes, that is what this video is all about. I'm sure you all remember the blood, sweat, tears and red tape I went through to get Chuffed out of the marina and sailing again. It was a time filled with really bad lows and equally amazing highs. Alright, so I tried to get the boat out of bond, and I've got some bad news. It's stupid how excited I get when I can do stuff like this. Oh, it's nasty. This is becoming increasingly frustrating. We're going. I think we're going. There is? Yeah. Alright. Through all the boat work, I kept finding ways to help animals all over Costa Rica. I was the veterinarian on call for the local sea turtle rescue groups, and during my year in Golfito helped with the rescue, treatment and release of 8 sea turtles. And the wild adventures didn't stop there, working with local wildlife rescue groups and sanctuaries, and travelling inland to remote Indigenous communities. I particularly enjoyed this work with the local veterinarians, helping communities that are completely cut off during the rainy season and have absolutely no access to animal care. At the beginning of the year, things really started happening. With the help from some new friends, we finally got the engine working and the dripless replaced, so Chuffed could be back out sailing. This is Lena and Will. I picked up my first mate Jim and Pavones, and we began the journey north. As a novice captain and Jim a new sailor, we navigated up the infamous Pacific coast of Central America. Covering over 1,000 nautical miles, exploring 5 countries, all the while battling tropical storms, intense thermal winds, and a boat that didn't seem to want to go. But most important for us was the animal work. In Nicaragua, we hosted 3 vaccination campaigns and a spay campaign in 3 different locations, treating over 150 animals in just 1 month. And all of this was achieved because of each and every one of you supporting the mission.
The last dog?
This is the last dog.
How many did you do today?
This will be my 13th.
And in
1 cat, 12 dogs.
Cats. Do you know how many in total?
23 in total. And you all know me, I couldn't help but find patients at every stop between Nicaragua and Mexico. Well, we're on our way to the fishing thing. And then I saw this in the water. There's the
ticks are a big problem too, and I talked to the caretaker here and he said he's been taking them.
Now here in Mexico, the work to save animals all over the world continues. Already, we've worked with local organisations to provide vaccinations and treatments to local animals. We have helped make the future brighter for over 50 animals, including this beautiful boy, an ex-fighting dog called Lucho. I don't want to give too much away, but we all truly changed his life. But throughout all this amazing animal work, there has been distractions and difficulties, namely with my lovely girl Chuffed. With everything on board stacking up against me at times, it was really hard to keep going. Trying to get a faulty stove lit at 4 in the morning can be the very thing that breaks you.
Well, we're getting ready to get going, but not before I take another look at the fridge because it keeps turning itself off all the time.
See, yeah, sails in not great condition. And this bit, I was like, oh, that's torn, that's tearing a little. And then it was just like, oh, look how easy I can just tear that to pieces. Right, hose clamp tightened. It appears that that was all the problem under there. Oh my gosh. Wires everywhere. We have a problem where the engine, for some reason, won't start. And we're coming into an anchorage that it's really not ideal. So we'll see what we can do. So, basically the motor's been making a funny noise. I literally had a big cry about it. But, you know, I know this doesn't seem like a huge big deal or a big job, but it's just like these last few months, well, I mean, the last year on board in a lot of ways has just felt like a constant battle, you know? If I put half as much effort into my fucking career as I put into fixing this fucking boat, that'd probably be a fucking million. Even with all the adversity, I truly love this life. I love living off the grid, I love the ocean, the connection with nature, and most of all, I love being able to change the lives of animals everywhere I go. And of course, sharing these amazing things we can achieve with all of you. With your help, the future of Chuffed looks bright. We plan to sail north into Baja, but first we need to address some of the major concerns with Chuffed. We've had boat builders and surveyors assist with budgeting and the work that must be done, and this fundraiser aims to get Chuffed shipshape again. We already have a lot of exciting animal work planned, ranging from sea turtle hatchlings to crocodile sanctuaries, and perhaps most exciting of all, we have big plans to get volunteers involved so we can host even bigger and better campaigns for domestic animals in need, so we can make an even bigger difference in the world. So they have free rabies vaccines here with the government, which is awesome, and look how many they have. Because they do all the street dogs and any animal that needs it, so yeah, so maybe we'll do some rabies vaccinations today too. We are really excited about Chuffed's future and we want you to be too, and who knows, it could be you who gets to volunteer on board and help save animals and sail around. So if you love me, you love Chuffed, you love helping animals, and you want this adventure and this documentary to continue, please consider just giving even $1, because if every one of you who watch this gives just $1, we can completely transform Chuffed and be able to deliver like life-changing veterinary care to areas and animals that really truly need it. And that's what our mission is, and that's what the dream is. So we need you all to help make it possible. So please visit the campaign in the links, share it with your friends, consider making a donation, and even if you just have a read of what we want to do, it's really worth checking out the campaign website. Help us stay chuffed and help us save animals is what we want. So thank you all. All right, until next time, stay chuffed everybody.